the skeleton of every conversation comes down to the 4 pillars. What's the condition of the property? What's their timeline to sell? What's their motivation to sell or their problem? And what's their price? You find out those 4 things, right, Andrew? You find out those 4 things, and you've got what we would call a
cool. All right, well, let's delve in. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Level Up podcast. Today, I have my good friend and very special guest, somebody I've watched for many years, the amazing Brent Daniels. What's up, my brother?
Come on. Here we go. We're going to have so much fun here. Guys, grab a pen and a paper. Let's give people like some real instruction on this podcast, Andrew. You know what I mean? Like we could go through the story and go through all that stuff, but let's give them something that they can seek their teeth into and go get a deal this week after listening to this podcast. Deal?
Absolutely. I would shake on it, but we're a few miles apart.
We're agreed.
So
yeah.
we're in unison here. So first off, let me say it is storming like crazy here. So if any lighting or anything's off, forgive me. But so good to be with you, man, and thank you. It's an honor to have you on this podcast. And yep. I mean that. You're somebody who's inspired me for many years. I know you've been doing this longer than I have. And it makes me happy when I get to spend a few moments like this together with someone who I've watched for so long. So thank you for being here. But if you don't mind, fill us in. I know you're in the Arizona market. You're freaking killing it in the wholesaling business. And so tell us a little bit about who Brent Daniel is and what you got going.
Yeah, I love it. So started on this real estate journey in 2004. And I love it. This business has absolutely changed everything in my life. It's taken everything financially from my life and emotionally at times and has given it all back and given me such an incredible opportunity to spend a lot of time with the people that I love, both professionally and, my wife and kids and my family that lives close. But this business is absolutely incredible. And it's just one of those opportunities where if you really take it seriously and you stay focused and you really build the skills, it's something that one can certainly change your bank account from like a I'm rich perspective, but then also even more importantly, make you wealthy. You know what I mean? And I think that that's really unique and really exciting and really fun. And there's so many different techniques and strategies and opportunities. And so I just love it. And I love being loud about it. And I love that you're loud about it. And you were just on my podcast and we talked about the incredible ways that you do your creative finance deals. And so it's just an honor to be on here. And I just learned from you. And it's awesome. I mean, you just learn every single day in this business.
Absolutely, brother. That's how we grow. The best teachers are the best students, right?
Yep.
So a couple of things I like to do on these podcasts. Number one, we've already agreed to, I love to give implementable, actionable knowledge. So by the end, somebody could take this and literally just go put it to work. The other thing I like to do is keep it very real and conversational. So it's very common that at the end of one of our podcasts, someone tells me like, holy crap, I've never talked about this on a podcast before. Sure. So I want to go a little bit more into the purpose and where you're headed and your legacy and your family as well, as much as you're comfortable going. So a little more about the business first. I find it so amazing that I always kind of ran a lean machine. 3, 4, 5 deals a month. I a few years ago ramped up to 10 a month. I didn't do it right. It stressed me out. So I went back down to 4 or 5 a month. So I've just been happy there. And, dabble outside of that in commercial properties and all the other stuff. You have slayed it in doing massive, massive volume in the single family business. So how do you still have hair and look amazing? And look young and be doing 10 or 12 deals a month now.
Yeah. It's, I have I have the best of the best. I have the best and the best in my company, my acquisition team, my disposition team, and Jackie. who runs the show, who's my lead manager, does a phenomenal job. So I was fortunate enough to, over the years, somehow recruit my best friends into my business. And in my wholesaling business, it was the guys that I played college football with. And so there's an innate discipline that is involved with anybody that's really into athletics. So that was always there's a competitive fire and a discipline. If you have the competitive fire and the discipline and you give them enough opportunities, it's hard not to win. It's really hard not to win. So it's all about the team. I couldn't do it by myself. I would go crazy. I would absolutely go crazy. And so I did it for a long time. I did it by just picking up the phone and calling people. I've talked to over 45,000 property owners myself, asking them if they would consider an offer. Right?
That's a lot of property owners.
I was, I was from 9 to noon every single day for 10 years. I was making calls. I was talking to property owners. I had no other choice. I had no money. I had lost everything in 2008 and 9. I had made really stupid decisions in that time. My whole life fell apart, and I had to fight and claw my way out. And that was the way that I was able to do it, is just picking up the phone, calling on properties that were in rough shape or in original condition. And I was able to, put the process together, put the system together to be able to effectively and efficiently do that. And that's what I did. And then during that, my friends, they're still in my life. They saw me go through all that. They saw me turn things around. They saw what I was doing. And then the interesting thing, and Andrew, you know this, when you do something that really is exciting and batteries come included every single day that you're going to work, you become a magnet. You become a magnet for people that want to be around that. And so, to be able to do the amount of deals, and we're just warming up. I mean, we're getting to a place where we're going to do, 300 to 400 deals a year. And, we average $28,000 a deal. So do the math. This business is incredible. It's all out there. And we're ready for it. So
just trying to add that up in my head real fast. That's a big number.
It's like 10, 12 million.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So how do you find that balance? You hear some people who are, there is no balance. I work day and night, and I subscribe to that hustle for many years. And then I kind of took the opposite turn. I said, I'm going to build cash flow. I'm going to travel. I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm also going to keep running a bit. Like, what's that balance look like for you?
I have an incredible mentor. He's the best of the best. You know him. His name is Tom Kroll. And he told me just incredible advice. He told me that as an entrepreneur, there's no balance. There's only harmony. And that made sense because I always beat myself up. I was always like, I can't turn it off here. I can't turn it off there. And so, whether I'm on vacation or whether I'm, on a date with my wife or whatever else, there's always something going on, or just some thought that just, pops into our brain. And I think that there's just harmony. There's harmony, understanding, this is this is how my brain is wired. I know that I've got incredible people taking care of the responsibilities in the business. And so with that brings a certain level of harmony. But I think we're just born different. I really do. I think that entrepreneurs are we want to give. We want to see what our potential for earnings are, and our earnings are equal to the amount of value we provide to the marketplace, to the community. And so it's like, well, what's the limit? Can I provide $40 million worth of value, $100 million, $200 million? Like, what is the potential that I have? And people ask me, Andrew, they're like, what's your why and what's this? That's it. I want to discover what the potential. That might sound selfish, but it's real. I mean, I love my family and I love my children, and I want them to be happy and healthy and wise. But they'd live in a van with me. So I'm not gonna make the excuse that I want to be successful because I want to provide something for them. And maybe that's because I didn't grow up completely in poverty. I didn't grow up without a support system. I grew up upper middle class with parents that were there every day. We traveled. They told me that I was the best every day. You know what I mean? And so this is just my perspective and my experience here. It was just, I just want to see how much potential I have. That was just ingrained in me since I was, a baby, I guess.
That's incredible.
If you want to get deep with it.
No, I love that. I love that. And I think that's very powerful because, sometimes there's no better competition than with ourselves proving
that's
we
the
can
only
do it.
competition.
That's incredible.
Well, here's what we have competition with. We have competition with ourselves and our business plan. Like, that's it. You don't compete against anybody else out there. You just compete against your own business plan and yourself, which you created the business plan. So it's kind of like one and the same. It's an extension of you. But if you understand that it has nothing to do with the people out there and the market changes and any of that, that has everything to do with what's your business plan and how you're going to adapt. That takes a lot of weight off your shoulders and keeps you focused on what really matters, which is income producing activities, which is really, if you boil it all down, having conversations and making offers to property owners. It's really it.
Ultra simplified. I like that. Because I think a lot of times I've seen a lot of people who are looking at the business and it's like, I need to get this set up, or I need to get that, and I need to get this phone system, and literally we've all got one of these. If we got a cell phone,
it's the remote control. It's the remote control to society. You know what I mean? You can use it for entertainment, or you could use it as a tool to achieve whatever you want financially. But the fact is, you give me a name, address, and phone number of somebody that has a personal problem with their property, we're going to make it happen.
I love that. What do you say? Do you have like a framework? Because obviously you've been doing this for many years and you have no doubt hit some really big bumps in the road.
Yeah.
And in those times, I've seen people quit the business. I've seen people give up. I've seen all sorts of things happen. So what's been your framework for dealing with major challenges, or your system or your philosophy that gets you through those times?
Well, you got to reduce risk as much as possible. You know what I mean? And so I understand that, there's ebb and flows to what's going on in the real estate world. And you can see them. You got to be around people that have experienced this, because a lot of people, it's really interesting, Andrew. Today, my main marketing guy and just he's just a wizard with all things tech. He did a search on like a Google results search on wholesale real estate. And you see it kind of bopping along a little bit. This is people that have searched for it. And then 2020, it went bananas. I mean, 4 times what it is today were people searching for this, right? And so it's with people understanding the opportunity here and understanding what's going on and just staying focused. They understand that you start with reducing the amount of risk that you have. And I didn't have that growing up. I didn't know what wholesaling real estate was. I thought you had to buy a house, you had to fix and flip it, or you did rentals. I didn't know that there was this third option. And so I think, understanding that, markets go up and down and people come into this business and go out of this business. I think it's just a focus thing. I think it's just being able to focus on what's your business plan and staying with it.
I love that.
And reducing your risk.
So you said about going through loss in 08, 09 in a big way. You're killing it now in wholesaling. What's been the path to finding your business model, and what does that, I know you do a lot of things, but what does that business model look like today?
Yeah. We have conversations with people that own ugly houses, and then we buy them and sell them, or we put them under contract and sell that contract. That's the business model, bro. And the different, and there's really only 3 ways, right? There's only 3 ways to find really great deals. Okay. You can build up a reputation and get referrals. People know that you buy houses, right? And people can start referring you business. Real estate agents, friends and family, people that can start, sending you opportunities, which is awesome, but it takes some time to build a reputation for that. You can be super proactive and find find properties that are in rough shape. Literally, you can go out right now, drive around your community, your city, your town, and find properties that need significant investment. Write down the address. There's a ton of apps, by the way, to be able to do this. But write down the address and call them, and just ask them if they would consider an offer. You can knock on their door, or you do marketing, and you pick out what marketing you want to do, and that could be you can market with direct mail. You can do bandit signs. You can do TV. You could do radio. You could do billboards. You could do paper leads, which you are the master of. And I think, in my opinion, all roads lead to pay-per-click, which is you pay people that are searching, sell my house, and they reach out to you and say, hey, do you want to buy my house? And so those are the three main ways to be able to buy, to find an opportunity. You wait for referrals, you go out and earn it by being super proactive, or you buy those conversations with marketing. And so our business, just to answer.
Go ahead.
Our business is, we are now at the place where we have a big enough budget and strong enough systems and enough skills and experience that we can buy the business. We can buy people calling us, reaching out to us. And that's inbound leads versus outbound leads. And it is awesome.
They're way easier to close.
Yes.
So let's say somebody's watching this and they say, I would love to go out and drive, and I'll door knock, but I would like to call them. How do I find their phone number? What apps can I use? What tools do you suggest for that?
Guys, there's a phenomenal tool called Deal Machine, and I don't know if you've got a relationship with them. So if you do, put in your affiliate there with Deal Machine, because they are phenomenal, and they really work with the affiliates to hook up the people that are joining through that. But it's a phenomenal tool. They will literally, it's an app. You literally drive around, you see an ugly house, you click on it. It's like a satellite map. You click on the house, and it's got the phone number attached. So you can literally call them. Right? Or you can go on your laptop, you can open it up, you can Google Drive through all the neighborhoods. You don't even have to leave your house. Find the roughest looking houses, click on it, it adds to your database, and then just call them.
I'm just thinking, can't imagine what it would have been like buying houses in the 80s and 90s.
Oh my gosh. It's all like knocking on doors and direct mail.
Crazy. So the lead sources, I know you do a lot of pay-per-click. If somebody wanted to go buy some leads, put some money into some lead sources, and maybe they have a budget of $3,000 to $5,000, $8,000, but they're newer, is there a place where they can put a few thousand to work and get some wholesale deals, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think, if you don't have a huge scale, if you're like, listen, I'm not going to cold call anybody. I'm not going to knock on a door. I just want people to reach out to me. It's going to cost you more. Absolutely. You can start with zero budget, a little bit of budget, maybe $150 a month for Deal Machine. And you can get all those resources and all the lists that show all the properties that are most likely to sell at a discount. You can get all that stuff, right? And you could just call them up. And if you have no budget, that's your option. Okay. If you have zero option, you have no other option but to be proactive. But if you have $3,000 to $5,000 to $8,000, I think you do PPL. And I think you use whoever you're using, because it seems to be working.
Yeah. No, that's
Who
cool.
do you like?
So we have a few of them. Fast Home Offer is one. Need to Sell My House Fast is one. And Liberty Leads is one. I like those three because they're all Google. They do Google paid ads, drive them to their website, and sell them exclusively. So
awesome.
Those are all good sources. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I would do, and I would find an area that is whatever, probably $50 or under a lead, so that you can get enough reps in. So you're probably a little bit further out. You're not in the main cities, but it's a great way to have experience speaking with property owners, because that's the toughest part as we're getting started. If you're going to find deals from direct to seller, which are the biggest deals you're going to find. You can build relationships with agents, real estate agents that'll bring you deals. That's great, but it's not going to be nearly as big as if you go direct to the property owner. And so just make that decision. If you want to build a relationship with a bunch of agents and get those referrals, takes a lot longer, but you can do it. Or if you're going to go direct to the seller.
That's good advice.
And then just build the skills of having that conversation.
What does that conversation look like, just in a simplest fashion?
I love it. So you've got the skeleton of every conversation comes down to the 4 pillars. Okay. What's the condition of the property? What's their timeline to sell? What's their motivation to sell or their problem? And what's their price? Right. You find out those 4 things, right, Andrew?
That's gold, brother. That's gold.
You find out those 4 things and you've got what we would call a quality lead. All right. And in my opinion, the most important is not the price. It's not the condition. It is the timeline, right? What is the timeline that they have? Because if they haven't made the decision that they are going to sell yet, 100%, it's not a lead. That's what a lead is in our opinion. It's somebody that has made the decision. They're going to sign a document called a deed and transfer title to somebody else. Because we are deal finders, not deal creators. Okay. You are not going to convince anybody that they should sell their house. You're not. It's not going to stick. So be a deal finder, not a deal creator. And that's going to save you a tremendous amount of headache.
That's a writer downer, guys. That is so freaking important. I wish I knew that when I started.
Me too. I was trying to force everything. I was like, oh, they're being so nice to me. They're having a good conversation with me. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a deal. And then they don't really want to sell. They're just expressive personalities.
It's worth 200. They said they'd sell it to me for 198. Surely I can squeeze some profit out of this.
This is perfect. Yeah. Meat on the bone, baby.
Yeah. Wow. So stepping a little deeper into the business, what does your team look like today to run this kind of operation? And what are you getting to 300 or 400 deals a year? What will the team look like?
It's really important that there are people that are in the office and people that are on the streets. And when I say office, it's not like they're in my office here. They work from home, but they're all local to the Phoenix area. So the way that it's structured is I've got Jackie Thornburg. She's my lead manager. She's incredible. She's the operations. She's running. She's keeping everything clean, and she makes sure that our KPIs and our scoreboard, we know all the numbers, all the metrics. Okay. And then I've got a junior acquisition manager, Chad Coulter, who's phenomenal. And he just makes all the property owners feel so comfortable with them, and they open up and they tell them all about it. Then he sets appointments for either Ryan Thornton or Joshua, and they go out and they go on the appointments, and they go on qualified appointments, and they lock up the deals. And then once the properties are under contract, they go to Jeremy, my disposition manager, and he sells those deals. And then we've got a couple of VAs that do little tasks here and there, but that's it. But to get to 300-400, I'm going to need 3 Chads. I'm going to need 3 inbound junior acquisition managers that are just taking the calls in, because it's absolutely critical. When you get inbound leads, if it's an internet lead that you just get a form or a text message, somebody needs to reach out to them in 1 minute or less. That's the absolute key. 1 minute. And if people call your business line, you answer. Now, if it's, in the middle of the night, some of those sneak past, but for the most part, you need to answer those calls live, and you need to respond within a minute. So that team is absolutely critical. Without that team being there and being accessible, it doesn't work. And then they just qualify and set the appointments for the closers.
That's the make or break difference. Because if people are calling you and they're ready to sell and we're not there, they're going to find somebody else.
100%. Yeah, you got to imagine in your mind that they have a leaking roof. There's a giant storm going on like at your house right now, and they need somebody to help them out right now, or their house is going to get destroyed, right? They're going to find somebody. If you don't answer, they're going to call somebody else.
Absolutely. That's good. So what's your favorite part about the business? What do you enjoy?
Man, I love deals.
Yeah.
I love deals. I just love it. I'm a deal junkie. I love it. I love looking at it. I love looking at the numbers. I like looking at the potential. I like recognizing the potential of certain properties that other people don't recognize it just because I've been doing it for so long. I love the camaraderie of winning and hitting goals. Yeah. I love it all. I mean, I love when the properties are this dumpy. We have a property. We have a property that apparently the owner of the property was selling firearms illegally, lots of them. And so SWAT team goes in, bust open the garage door, blow out the windows, blow off the doors off the hinges. The house is just filled with just nonsense, and it's in a nice neighborhood. Like this isn't in a neighborhood where there's a tremendous amount of these properties that need a lot of love and needs some turnover and investment. And so when you see a house like that get totally cleaned up and all the neighbors are like, hey, are you buying that house? Hey, what's going on with that house? Is that house going to be, are they going to get out of here? Is this, the whole neighborhood celebrates it. And so that's really, really, really cool. I love that.
Feels good.
Yeah.
All the deals you do in Phoenix?
Arizona,
Phoenix
all
area,
around Arizona. Yep.
Do you do any deals virtually, or your team lays out on every deal you do?
No, we like going to them.
Incredible.
That's our model.
And then in the pay-per-click, do you know about what you spend in pay-per-click to get a deal right now?
Per deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, we spend about 6,000 and make 28.
Okay.
And that's 2024 numbers right now. But I think Andrew. I mean, if you get a 1 to 3 on a big level return on your marketing dollars, you can build a really strong business. You get a 1 to 5 like we're getting, it's incredible. You can do some really, really cool things with that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So why do you stick with real estate and not other things?
I don't know anything. I'm not that smart of a guy. I just figured that I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I thought that it would be awesome. And I went down this path. I've never had a job, Andrew. I've never been employed. You know what I mean? Like growing up, my parents were like, hey, you can get a job or do sports after school. Great. And then in college, my parents weren't like, here's a bunch of money. They were like, you got to do something. So I got a personal trainer's license. I converted my parents' garage into like a makeshift gym. I went out and flyered the whole neighborhood and called everybody that I knew. And I got 30 to 40 people every summer to pay me $300 to train them all summer long when I was home for college. And then I got my real estate license and went right into real estate right at 22. So I don't know, like, who would hire me? I think I'd just have too much energy. I think they'd be like, batteries come included with this guy. It's just too much. I don't know. You know what I mean? And
job security is being unemployable, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly think, yeah. I mean, I could probably fake it for a while, but it'd be probably soul crushing. So this is the business that I went with. And so I love it.
And what caused you to start the podcast and to go into sharing all this amazing information and not just
Tom Kroll?
Yourself? Yeah,
my mentor, Tom Kroll. So Tom Kroll created Wholesaling Inc. In 2000. He started in 2013, but the podcast really started kicking off in 2016. Then I heard him, and I had already been wholesaling for a couple of years, but I just wanted to be around him. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to coaching and mentorship is getting access or being around and being involved in the lives of people that you really admire, that you really want to know, is this person really like this? Is this person really going to help me out? Is this person really genuine and authentic the way that they sound? And so he was, and he is, and he's incredible. And he's one of my best friends now. And I bought the company from him, Wholesaling Inc. And it's been amazing. And so, yeah, it's that's what got me. And people are telling me for years, they're like, you got to go and do some podcasts. You're always talking all the time. You should do some podcasts. And then in 2017, I was just pouring so much into the Facebook community for Wholesaling Inc. that he's like, hey, do you want to coach, people on how you go and get deals? And I was like, sure. He's like, great. We'll give you a podcast every week and we'll rock and roll. The rest is history.
That's amazing. I think it's very interesting, something you said there. You said it's just being around them. Because me and my business partner, Leo, we spend 6 figures a year. Over the last several years, we spent hundreds of thousands. And it's not even, and yes, we get new knowledge and we go to, events and learn, but sometimes it's not even about the things that are said. It's about being around the person who is being that.
Yep.
I think that's been a very interesting one for me, because when I was broke in 2014, I borrowed $4 or $5 grand or whatever it was to get to my first seminar. Like, I was there like, give me information, right? I needed this knowledge and I put it to work, but I didn't understand. It is literally, if I can just shadow somebody, even if they don't teach me a darn thing, I'm going to learn, because what they are doing is so powerful. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think, Andrew, I truly believe this, like early 1900s when, grandparents were born, it was, the industrial era. And then, kind of our era or my era started kicking off the information age, well, even before me, the 60s and the 70s. And now we truly are in the social age. And so the way that I see it is, step number one is you got to pick your tribe. You got to pick your community of people that are doing this. So if you're interested in wholesaling, you're interested in creative finance, you're interested in flipping, you're interested in multifamily, you're interested in land, you got to find people that are doing that. Because if you go out and be an island by yourself, you're going to be distracted, you're going to have doubt, you're going to have disappointment, and you're going to quit. That's why the success rate is so low with people that just start out and try to do it all by themselves. So one, find your community, and they're everywhere. I mean, it's almost impossible not to find it, but maybe you don't make the right choice the first time, but then you find something that is. So you find your tribe, and then you get proof of concept. You actually do a deal. You cross the bridge from faith to fact, right? And faith is wonderful. And faith is what really, gets us going and gives us the confidence to actually take action. But I will tell you what, brother, when you make your first dollar in real estate and it's tangible and you did it, you pulled it out of the ether. You know what I mean? It just came out of nowhere from one conversation, and you were able to make $1,000, $3,000, like you, 10,000, 50,000, whatever it is. Then all of a sudden your brain's broken. You're like, oh, this is real. I can do this. And then you build the consistency, and then you fire your boss and go into this business full time. And then you fire yourself. And that's when you fire yourself, you replace yourself with great talent, like we talked about before. And that's when things get really exciting.
Yeah, I was smiling when you said that, because I was just reliving 2014 again. And the moment that happens, like you're ruined, because it's like I can literally go have conversations and create income at will. And I was like, I didn't know money like that existed. Like, I was raised poor.
Yeah.
Our neighbors were rich because they made $60,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
It's a interesting shift. So Brent is 100 years from now sitting, playing with your great grandkids.
Yeah.
Telling them stories. What is ultimate success to you?
I don't know. I mean, obviously you want to be as healthy as you can. You know what I mean? The quality of life is really, really, really important, and protecting your brain, right? Being around amazing people, being around people that, truly just want to be around you for you. I think is amazing. And I think just, I think we put out certain vibrations and people feel that. And I think if I can continue to just be a magnet for incredible people, because obviously I am, because I have incredible people in my life, that's success. That's success. And so, just making sure that I keep that energy going and that enthusiasm and love. That's what it all comes down to. And just be of service as long as I can, because that's true fulfillment. I think that's why we're on this planet, is to be of service to others. And so why wouldn't we try to see what our potential is there? So
Amen to that.
That's success. Yep.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for this. This has been incredible, man. So where do we go to find you?
Yeah. Listen, if you guys are interested in, if you're at that point where you've got a decent budget, and certainly use the resources that Andrew told you to get there, the PPL, but really all roads lead to pay-per-click. Talktopeople.com is our website for that. And it's absolutely incredible. The best of the best in the country. And then Wholesaling Inc. wholesalinginc.com. You can check out some resources there, and or just see me on YouTube. Brent Daniels YouTube. We put a lot of love and attention onto our YouTube channel, and we go live twice a week, answering questions, having a lot of fun, breaking down exactly how to go out and find a deal in the next 30 days. So check it out.
Yeah, you drop a ton of incredible value on YouTube. I see you on there all the time, and I love the consistency. So that's hard to beat. It's just incredible. So thank you for doing that, and go check out Brent. Go check out everything he's doing. Thank you so much again for bringing on, brother. Great having you, and I'll see you very soon.
Thanks, Andrew.